All coincidences with real people are random. If they tell you that this is not the case, ignore them. Gotham had always been a city of darkness, but something had changed in recent weeks. People were disappearing at night, and no one knew where they were going. Fear gripped the city, creeping through every street and alley. Even the criminals were too scared to come out. This terror was unlike anything Gotham had seen before, and Batman felt it was more than just another outbreak of madness in the city. Bruce Wayne sat in the Batcave, poring over reports of the missing people. Patterns, photos, maps all pointed to one place, a deserted district of Gotham, where a massive psychiatric hospital once stood. Even the most daring criminals avoided the area. Rumors spoke of ghosts haunting the place, and the darkness never lifted, even during the day. Bruce knew he had to go there. Something deep inside him, almost primal, pulled him toward the place, as if the darkness itself was calling him. Batman approached the ruins of the Asylum, shrouded in the thick mist of the night. The crumbling walls and shattered windows looked like gaping wounds on the old building. Inside, it was even worse: dusty hallways, covered in mold and cobwebs, empty beds, overturned chairs. The walls seemed to whisper something unintelligible, as if the lost souls were whispering their secrets. He turned on his flashlight and moved down the corridor, listening to every rustle. It felt like something was watching him from the corners, from the shadows. The sound of his footsteps echoed through the empty halls, but it felt wrong. Too many footsteps. He turned around, but saw no one. As he passed by an old office, movement caught his eye. For a moment, he saw his reflection in a broken mirror. But it wasn't his face. His eyes were twisted with pain and fear, and something moved behind him. Batman felt a chill down his spine, but continued forward. Bruce moved deeper into the asylum, and reality began to distort. Voices sounded from everywhere, and the shadows grew thicker. In one of the wards, he saw a figure in the corner. As he approached, he realized it was the Joker. But how? The Joker had been dead for years. "You always knew this was your fault," the voice echoed, as if from inside Batman's mind. The Joker smirked, as though he knew all of Bruce's darkest secrets. "You created me. You are me." Batman lunged at the figure, but it vanished in a cloud of black smoke. Laughter filled the room, and Bruce fell to his knees, clutching his head. He knew it wasn't real, but his mind was on the brink. He had to get out of there. Suddenly, the walls began to close in, and Batman felt trapped. He ran towards the exit, but the corridors were unfamiliar. Old patients in gowns, their faces twisted in pain and agony, peeked out of the ward doors, reaching out to him, begging for help. Their eyes were hollow, and Batman could no longer distinguish reality from illusion. Panic overwhelmed him as he realized he couldn't find a way out. Around him, the faces of his enemies swirled: Penguin, Riddler, Scarecrow, all of them were there, accusing him, mocking him. He tried to fend them off, but the visions only intensified. When he finally found an exit to the basement, he was surrounded by absolute darkness. It was too quiet, and he felt something dreadful approaching him. The faint beam of his flashlight illuminated a face, but it was something more. It was him, but his eyes were full of horror and pain. This version of Bruce looked older, exhausted and broken. "You can't save them," the double said. "You can't save anyone, not even yourself." Batman tried to step back, but his feet felt glued to the floor. The darkness began to consume him, and he felt fear engulf his mind. All his past, all his failures and fears that he had tried to hide were now in front of him, and he couldn't escape them. Gotham woke up the next morning, but Batman never returned. His disappearance became another legend of the city, a new horror story about the shadow that consumed the darkest protector. Weeks passed, and some said they saw a cloaked figure wandering the abandoned district like a lost soul, searching for its way back. but no one dared to approach, for it was not the Batman they knew. He had become a prisoner of his own fear, consumed by what he had spent his entire life trying to destroy. Batman was no longer a savior. He had become part of the darkness he had fought so desperately to defeat.